Terrence Popp here with another episode from the Lair. And today we're going to go over a couple more, actually this is, we got 2 or 3 more episodes of airborne stuff to get through because I got a lot of jumps and a lot of different units. But I want to go over some stuff that happened at airborne school. When I went to airborne school, I was one of 2 people who were enlisted who were sent to airborne school from the 9th Infantry Division since the ceasing of hostilities in Vietnam. When I got there, I was roughly end of November, December time frame, and it was cold as shit. And for whatever reason, and I don't know if they were doing this to weed people out or not, but you couldn't wear any snivel gear. So basically you had a t-shirt, you had your BDU top on, you report after PT for the duty day, and you better not have any goddamn snivel gear on. It's pretty fucking cold. So your days was full of, drudgery and misery. It is what it is. You get, for whatever reason, you're young, you're indestructible, you get used to it. But when I first got there, I remember I got assigned to a room, and I had this Marine, I called him Ike, I don't remember his name. He just looked like the classic Marine, 6-foot-ish, 6'1", chiseled stone features, I just called him Ike. Worked for me. And then this other NBC specialist, little skinny, scrawny guy, red hair. Just a squirrely guy. I never liked him. From the moment I saw him, you can just tell he's just one of those guys that, stab you in the back if you could, which happened. So we get assigned to the room. It's a 4-man room. There's 3 of us in there. We're on I think it's the 3rd floor. I'm on the top bunk, and lo and behold, the light doesn't turn out. I go and I flip the switch, I suck it up, I put on a blanket over my face. This goes on for like 4 or 5 days. Okay, now we're still in the beginning here, 4 or 5 days into it. Now every day after PT formation, I report it to the RNU rep that, hey, the light in my room doesn't fucking turn off. Do you think you can fix it? So after like the 4th day, I'm like, you know what, I haven't had a decent night's sleep. This is fucking bullshit. I pull up my Swiss Army knife, take out the Phillips, screwdriver. I start undoing the light switch, and little scrawny redheaded guys like, Pop, you shouldn't do that. You're gonna get us in trouble. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Ike is just like, yeah, do it, Pop. It's fucking light bullshit's bullshit. Take it off. I disconnect the light, go to sleep, get a great night's sleep, get up in the morning. Now, I should have put it back together. Hindsight's 20/20, but I made an assumption, like, hey, I've reported this defect to the RNU guy 4 fucking times. I'm sure they could fix it. Lo and behold, we go through the whole duty day, and we get done, and right before release for evening chow, well, the people in room 306, I don't remember I think it was on the 3rd floor, report to the head shed office. So by the time I get there, this skinny, redheaded, whiny NBC fuck is in there spilling his guts to Heckle, which is that black guy with the hook nose, and his skin is black as coal. Not an ounce of compassion in this guy's eyes. All right, Ike is standing there, cool as a cucumber, just standing there at parade rest, not saying shit. So I have to report. I stand in front of his desk, and I can remember him giving me this famous lecture. He's like, Pop, if you were to die in airborne school, what would that look like? And I answer, I would die from massive trauma, telescoping, fractures, burst organs from collisions, He's like, yeah. So how am I going to explain to your parents that you died of electrocution in airborne school? I'm trying not to laugh. I really am. Ike behind me is trying not to crack a smile because he thinks it's funny too. Now, Heckle's like, he's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. You're 11 Bravo. The guy behind you, he's an 0311, both infantry guys. We don't really get as much infantry guys historically as we used to, so we're not going to throw you out. But every one of you is going to get extra duty. Another redhead is like, Sergeant, I told him to stop. He's like, shut up, you're in the room, you get punished too. So literally after chow, Ike and I, we washed out the phone booths, you know, cleaned up the day room, mopped the floor. They made us brass all the pipes into the sink. I mean, we actually had, it made it a game out of the whole thing. It was a pretty good system. And we, you know, try to do these phone booths, and usually we do those last. We had 8 phone booths that we had to, you know, wash. This is before cell phones and shit. So we go tell the guy, like, hey man, we're going to clean this phone booth. And they're looking at, yeah, sure, I'll be right off in a minute. And then we just keep talking. Now the first night, it took us an hour to wash all of the phone booths. The next day, literally, I opened up the thing and I said, we're going to wash the phone booth. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. So I would start counting back from 30. I'd be like 29, 28, 27, 26. And Ike is out there getting the hose ready. And as soon as we hit 0, I would step away and he would start hosing the inside of the phone booth. If the guy got out or not, we didn't fucking care. Sometimes they want to fight and shit and be like, let's go. We fucking warned you, motherfucker. I'd have a mop, I'd soap it all down, he'd hose it off, and we'd do that. Like, literally, I'd open up the next guy, and he just saw what happened to the other guy before him. I open it up, like, we're going to wash this phone booth. And I'd start counting back. 29, 28, 27. And, like, literally, after, like, the second day, they all knew the routine. So they're like, yeah, as soon as I hit 25, like, hey, honey, I got to go back. And they get out and they leave, and I just wash the thing. So we went from doing 8 of the phone booths in an hour to roughly all 8 of them in like 10 minutes. Not a big deal. Okay, and then, you know, Ike, you know, he was always on my sticks when we jumped. And, you know, he was a Marine, Force Recon, there's Navy SEALs and stuff. They all had this camaraderie going on, which is cool. But on our stick, we had a female 2nd Lieutenant Marine in airborne school. And the way she lined up on this particular stick is they put her between me and Ike because she was having a problem with a 30-foot tower. I don't know, she was hesitant. I mean, she just wasn't about the whole airborne thing. So we go up there to do our jump, and like, you know, the first stick goes out, and we get in position, and I think Ike is like 5th from the door, she's 6th, I'm 7th, and there's like 4 or 5 guys behind me. So, like, she starts trying to unhook and shit, she's like panicking, I'm not doing it, oh my god. And Ike turns around, and he grabs her, and he's like, you're jumping, ma'am. Pop, she's jumping. Roger that, Ike. And I grab her by the back of her collar, and she's like fighting, I don't want to go. And Ike is he's dragging her along, and I'm pushing her, and we get to the door, and the black hat, the jump master, literally just went like this out the door. And like literally, Ike went out, and I kicked her in the ass, and she went out, and then I went out after her. And that's how we did that jump. And apparently, she finished her 5 jumps and got her airborne wings. She would have quit. You know, it's a win-win for everyone. That's a good time. It's a good time. And now, in airborne school, they have this thing that's called break area procedures. Now, like after chow in the morning, you go to the break area and you wait for the class to begin, or after lunch, you go to the break area and you wait to get taken off to your training area. And they were being kind of dicks in the chow hall. And I don't know why they were doing this, but they were bogarting the fucking ice cream sandwiches. I have a sweet tooth. So, you know, I'm like, what the fuck? You know, they're like, you can't take ice cream sandwiches. Like, the other companies were eating ice cream sandwiches, but we couldn't. Like, what the fuck is that all about? So literally, I had all of the Marines, all of the Navy SEALs. There was maybe 50 of us in the class, and like a bunch of other infantry guys. On a command word, everyone stood up at the same time with their tray to move towards towards the where you put your trays at, the racks. So literally, I walk in there, walk up to the freezer, take out a big thing of ice cream sandwiches, put it in my arm, and I'm walking out. And as I'm walking out, I hear one of the airborne like, "Hey!" And then everyone somebody gave the code word, and 50 some odd guys, they all stand up at the same time. And you see the starting airborne say, "Oh, I see what we got here. We got us a conspiracy." So we all run back to the break area procedure. We stuff our faces full of ice cream sandwiches. They come back and they smoke us. You know what? We're infantry guys. We've been through this before. It's not a big deal. It went on for like 40 minutes. And nobody got kicked out. It was a big fucking game. And that's pretty much how airborne school went. All right. Let's go over one of the worst fucking landings I've ever had. All right, we're doing, I was the 2nd Ranger Battalion, and we're leading up to the Panama invasion, and we were jumping on different objectives. And I believe we jumped into an actual airport, I think it was in Oklahoma. And it was the same old bullshit. I think that was a C-141 drop, though. It wasn't a C-130. Full combat equipment, and then, you know, when I first got to the Ranger Battalion, I was airfield seizure. So all of my drops were all over, right down the middle of the goddamn runway, where you landed pretty much always on concrete. So, you know, I step out, you know, I get the green light, boom, chute opens. I'm jumping a crash 10, not a big deal. It's not really steerable, but, you know, what the fuck, you're over concrete anyway. You know, it's a clear night. There's really no wind. You know, I'm trying to gauge how fast I'm coming down. And it's really not that bad. I'm like, oh, it's not gonna be that bad. So I'm coming down towards the end of the runway, and there's, you know, at the end they have the big stop in white letters, you know, and each letter is about 1 story high. And I'm coming down right in the middle of the O. Yeah, and I pull my risers in, cover my face, get in a PLF position, and I hit that fucking ground so fucking hard. I swear to you, I was temporarily knocked out of my meat suit and stood over myself and went, oh my God! Okay, now I hit so hard. I had 3 inches of concrete rammed up the barrel of my squad automatic weapon, which is the 5.56 belt-fed machine gun. And I had bent it into a bow and arrow because I had it in my weapons case. I didn't lower it. I was told not to lower it. I didn't lower it, which luckily I didn't, because I probably would have broke my legs. My head hit the ground so fucking hard, I was partially delirious. And I remember I was like, my rest of my squad found me, and I was like staggering down the runway in the wrong fucking direction. I was all fucked up. They said I had a concussion. They yelled at me for fucking my weapon up. I remember it got to my platoon sergeant, who was at that time Sergeant First Class Greenway, who later became the Sergeant Major of the regiment. And he was basically like, okay, his weapon's broken. Did he lower it? No. Was he told to lower it? No. He was told not to lower it, and he didn't lower it, and it got broken. He was doing his job, shit breaks, get off his fucking back. And I was like, I got a pass. I mean, they still smoked me because I was a new guy, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's see, that one. This one here was another landing I had when I was in the 425th Airborne Infantry, a long-range reconnaissance company. And this was a C-130 jump, mass tack, a full combat equipment. I don't know what happened. We were jumping into some, I think it was Minnesota. And you know how Minnesota is like the land of 1,000 lakes? Well, they're not fucking kidding. And usually around the lake, you get fucking marshes and swamps and shit. We step out, I remember I step out of the aircraft. Now it's just dusk, which is technically a night drop, but there's enough light that you can see what's going on. So you're not royally fucked. So I remember I come out, the first thing you do is you check your chute after I'm done screaming like a bitch. Look around, make sure nobody's around me. Make a game plan of how I want to land this thing. I look down, and I'm over a fucking lake. All right, I do not have water wings on, so if I land in that water, chances are I'm gonna die. Or I have a very, very high chance of dying, because without the water wings, you gotta fight loose of all your shit when you hit the water, get away from your chute, the risers. One of the things grab you and it drags you down, you're fucking done, period. A lot of good guys have got, zeroed out that way. So I'm like, holy fuck. Now, we're jumping the C-10? Yeah, I don't remember. It's one of the steerable chutes we used to jump back in the day. Yes, the toggles. So I turn, and I'm trying to get away from the fucking lake. Now, I'm making a little leeway, but I have the wind coming off from my left, and I'm trying to, burn into it. So I know I'm not going to land in the lake proper, but I'm not going to make the actual drop zone. I could land some in the water, or I could land in the swamp-ish. It's probably not that bad. I'm not going to make the drop zone, and if I try, I'm going to land in the trees. Now, trees is not a good landing, okay? People get impaled, lacerations, compound fractures, broken backs, broken pelvises. You don't want a tree landing, trust me. So I make the decision, you know, the trees in the swamp aren't that high. I'm going to have to put it down in the swamp. So I make my adjustments. I'm coming in, and I get ready to do my PLF. I undo my chest strap, push the reserve to the side. You know, just in case it's deep, I get ready, you know, to cut away, you know, the parachute and get the fuck out. I hit it, and it's mud, like I figured. The rucksack was about 6 feet away from me. It was almost completely buried. Now, I am stuck in the mud to my balls, okay? There's no fucking way I'm getting out of this, okay? I don't know if you guys have walked through mud. You know, mud, about if it's 8 inches to 10 inches deep, it can suck your fucking shoes off. When it's deeper than that, you need to be pulled the fuck out. I'm sorry. And that's pretty much what happened. I didn't make it to the rally point. They sent out guys looking for me. Yeah, they saw my chem light I popped. They came out. They literally throw a rope out there and pull me the fuck in. You know, my chute was all full of mud and fucked up. You know, it is what it is. But that was a really, really close water landing that was unplanned. I've done water jumps before where you have the proper water wings and safety equipment, and they're not that bad at all. You just kind of float there and do your deal. But unplanned water landings, they have a way of turning into something that could be literally fatal in a very short time. Anyway, hopefully you're liking these airborne stories. I got, I think, 2 or 3 more videos of these. And I'll talk to you later.